This year was so much fun, but it definitely came with some challenges. Thank goodness.
And the Kings preparing for this road contest as they get off the bus. And the game arrival. And here's a look at some numbers for Fox.
And guys, how about the surge of offense he's experiencing right now? These last 5 games, he's been a machine at the offensive end. A different score than he had been earlier in the season. We'll find out if he can keep it going here tonight.
Now Sacramento starting 5. Fox at the point with Hield to his side. They're the backcourt. Bagley is out there with Bogdanovich. And it's Holmes in at the 5. And for the Lakers, Green and LeBron at the 2 and the 3. Davis is out there with Howard. And it's George in at the 1. And this late in the season, Clark, for non-playoff contending teams, really there's nothing to lose. The pressure is gone. You can let it rip, can't you?
Yeah, there's a freedom that you can play with when you don't have the pressure or the expectation.
Oh, what a finish!
Just so resourceful as a player. Davis gets the job done inside in all sorts of ways, and that's one of them right there, crashing the offensive glass, getting that second chance bucket.
George against Fox. And here is Holmes. He's coming off a 10-point game against Denver.
And 3 blocks on the game as well. I mean, he was going all out and making plays defensively.
Bagley with the bucket.
And the dogged attitude of Bagley. When shots go up, he wants to be the first to pounce on misses.
LeBron outside. Back to George. Shoots over Fox. And there's George. That's good on the assist by James.
And hitting the mid-range jumper here early gives the defense just another thing to think about.
Well, they better be thinking about him. I mean, we know how dangerous he is.
And it's Howard finishing it off.
Great reach that time by Howard. He went way upstairs to throw that one down. Can pretty much get any pass that's around the goal.
Fox against George. Up top, Holmes. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Feeds it to Bagley. Good, and a nice assist from Fox.
And we saw this from Bagley in college. He has very good touch around the rim.
And here's George for 3. That's basket number 2 with his 3rd shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
Up top, Bagley. He's guarded by Howard. Shot clock at 6. Outside for Bagley. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own. Bagley's got 7 points in the game.
And, you know, quite a bit of turnover for the Lakers in recent years, guys, from the front office to the coaching staff. I think it's always important for an organization to have a common voice to speak in stereo and have everybody in proper alignment from the top down to the court.
Here's LeBron, and James throws it down hard.
Tell you what, just add that one to the highlight reel. James is truly one of the greatest slam dunkers of all time.
So the Kings call timeout. They're first. And as the Lakers have looked to fill positions, Clark, a real affinity for candidates with the Lakers' history.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. They view it as a family, but here recently, they've expanded their options and have looked outside of past Laker pedigree in terms of filling some key spots, which is part of what you have to do if you're going to move forward and be successful.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. DeMarcus Cousins is checked in for Howard. JaVale McGee comes in for Anthony Davis. Kyle Kuzma's checked in for James. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in for Danny Green. Well, some great passers have come into the league this season. Let's see which rookies are tops in assists. Here's Giles. He's coming off a 10-point game against Denver.
And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I agree. Not a lot of activity chasing down their misses. Some teams focus on getting back. I understand that. But you should send at least one guy after those.
Fox kicks to Giles. To the wing right side. Joseph against Caldwell Pope. 5 on the clock. Here's Fox. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And guys, they walked into the arena with a certain kind of swagger, and we really saw it play out on the offensive end.
And, you know, confidence is key there. They seem to play with a ton of it, especially on the offensive end.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
Shoots from the high post. The rebound by Caldwell Pope.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
And, you know, it's an all-out effort they've come in with. Very aggressive offense so far.
Now, here's Fox. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. To end the cold streak. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Boy, I like the focus and unselfishness Fox brings to the court. A strong defender with lightning-quick reflexes in every spot.
He hits the second from the line. It's deflected. George from deep three. He made it! He got it!
Big time!
Wow, what a way to finish up the quarter.
That's an impossible shot, man, even when you don't have the clock to worry about.
And so it's Los Angeles with a 14-point lead as we bring the quarter to a close. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the... Platoon swap here for the Lakers. A big group substitution here for Sacramento. Richaun Holmes, he's checked in for Dwayne Dedmon. Marvin Bagley comes in for Giles. Bogdanovich, he's checked in for Bjelica. And it's Buddy Hield in for Joseph. Clark, over the last couple decades, the role of the big man has changed and required more skill outside shooting among them.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And then the ability to move your feet defensively.
Yes.
Because the three-point shot spaces the floor so much. And a lot of times teams will have 4, maybe 5 perimeter shooters out there regardless of size. So big guys, if they're going to play in that type of an alignment, have to be able to move their feet and effectively guard perimeter players and also make shots from the perimeter as well.
Amazing to see guys that big out there sometimes with a one-on-one with the guard, like on the three-point line.
No doubt. And also the big guys, we've got a ton of them, Kevin, across the league that can really knock down the three-point shot.
On the floor for Sacramento. That's at the point with Hield to his side. They're the backcourt. Richaun Holmes out there with Bagley. And it's Bogdanovich in at the small forward position.
Tell you what, even though he's a little older now, James still a force in transition.
And George gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for the Lakers. There's 1:17 left in the second quarter. Bagley finds Hield. Six on the shot clock. Here's Fox. Bagley trying to free himself up. Off the mark from 16 feet out. Here's George. The shot will not fall. And Sacramento will go the other way with it. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, their execution at times was flawless, but they also made some mistakes that ultimately did them in.
And, you know, it's never easy trying to win away from home. They were close, but just needed a little more push at the end.
Oof, this has been brutal. I mean, he still hasn't made a single shot. No wonder they're struggling.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Here's Fox. And Davis pulls it down. Davis has got 5 rebounds tonight.
The struggles just continue this quarter. They can ill afford to have this many empty possessions. Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and coach knows it.
Showing no signs of slowing or cooling down. They're going to ride him as far as he can take him.
And so it's Los Angeles holding a 22-point lead as the quarter wraps up. The scoring has been tremendous.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following. Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. It's been one outstanding game from George.
Well, he left his mark on that first half with his quick hands. Great sense of timing to pile up the steals.
Well, I thought it was a great defensive performance for him so far. He's aware, he's alive, he's alert, quick to react to everything that's going on around him. Can't do it much better than that.
LeBron and Davis, the incredible forward pair. Then there's Howard. Then it's Green, and it's George in at the point. That's the group starting the second half for Frank Vogel. Pulls it up. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. James has got 5 assists tonight.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Fox looking it over. And George gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. The Kings making a switch here. Dedmon's checked in. Bagley the pass to Fox. Rebounded by the Lakers. Howard's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats, that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
And LeBron James Clark climbing the all-time scoring list, last season passing Michael Jordan. This season, Kobe Bryant. Clark, any chance LeBron someday passes another Laker great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most career points in NBA history?
I think it's simply a matter of his health, because if he stays healthy, then it's not if, but when. By the time his contract runs out, guys, in 2022, he'll be right in that neighborhood of my all-time favorite player, and I think the greatest player to play, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And the Lakers decide to take their first time out here. The mid-range jump shot, you've talked about this a lot, is still valuable if you can hit it with consistency.
Yeah, and if it's a quality shot, Kevin, I think you should shoot it. Move the defense, move the ball to get a quality shot, and I think one of the very best at knocking down the mid-range jump shot, Kevin Durant clearly. But how about Chris Middleton? Elite mid-range jump shooter, and DeMar DeRozan as well has a strong mid-range game too.
And George gets the whistle that time. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Giles checked in for Sacramento. 2 minutes gone in this 3rd quarter now. Up top, Bielitsa. He's covered by Murray. And the officials call a traveling violation.
And here's some numbers on Fox. An amazing run for him the second half of the season. 8th in assists, 15th in steals, and he's right up there in the top 20 in scoring. Certainly a force to be reckoned with offensively.
And his floor awareness is undeniable. As you pointed out, top 10 in assists, and he's great at drawing the defense and making the perfect pass in stride. One thing about Kyle Kuzma, Clark, he's not a ball stopper. When he touches the ball, he is shooting it.
I would not disagree with you there, guys. He is fearless looking for a shot. He hunts his shot aggressively, and he's very efficient. He doesn't need a lot of dribbles, but the one thing I like about him is that he doesn't hold on to that ball long. He's going to make a quick, decisive move or get it out of his hands.
And, guys, point of emphasis for the league is to really crack down on illegal screens.
Yeah, you know, he might have gotten away with that a few years ago, but not anymore. No way. Now you've got to be stationary on those screens. No extra hips or elbows, or they'll call it.
The pass to Joseph. 9 feet out. Second shot opportunity. Dedmon's shot is off. And so Cousins will bring it up for the Lakers. Here's Kuzma. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. George has got his 8th assist in the game. For Sacramento, they've gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the third quarter. George against Fox. Shot by Bjelica and nobody around. Good on the triple. Bjelica's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Murray outside. Back to George. Again, Los Angeles.
Just make sure you keep getting him touches. I mean, you love what he's doing at the offensive end. Don't go away from it.
Left side, Joseph. At the elbow, Fox. Now Joseph. Shot clock at 5. From deep three-point range. Kept alive by Sacramento. Bjelica with the bucket.
Boy, you can't give him any room to maneuver on the board because once he does, he's going to make you pay.
Outside, George. The Lakers keeping it going. A new 14-second shot clock. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet more set on that screen. Easy call.
Yeah, I agree. You know, sometimes that can be a tough call for the refs to make, but not that time. It was easy there.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. JaVale McGee's checked in for Murray. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in for Alex Caruso. Rajon Rondo's checked in for Kyle Kuzma. The Kings have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today.
Yeah, and over the course of the season, they're a respectable 78%. That comes in handy in close games.
Rondo with the ball. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. The shot by George, no good.
But still, eventually, you got to feel like he'll start knocking those down again.
Healed the pass to Holmes. And Holmes throws it down.
And all of a sudden, things finally coming together for them. The deficit's still large, but now not insurmountable.
And, Greg, that kind of deficit, I think they're going about it the right way. I mean, they've got to get aggressive on defense. They need stops. And then you got to take care of the basketball at the other end so you get a good shot every trip.
And that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession. Changes for the Lakers. Howard's checked in for JaVale McGee. Green comes in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And George is subbed in for Rajon Rondo. Marvin Bagley's checked in for the Kings. Bogdanovich comes in for Harry Giles. On the floor for Sacramento. Back to the point with Hield to his side. They're the backcourt. Bogdanovich is out there with Bjelica. And it's Bagley in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. George double teamed. No one near James as he lets it go. Buries it from three-point range. LeBron's got 5 points now in the quarter. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle stats for Los Angeles.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Here's Hield. He can't get it to go. Great D that time from Howard. And George, here we go. And George with the stuff.
An elite scorer, demonstrating once again how fast he can fill it up.
And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Outside, Bagley. Pass to Hield. Clock at 6. The 3. Fox, no good. Los Angeles has gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Here's George. Banked in off the glass. George has got 10 points here in the second half.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
And don't leave out the coaching staff here now. I mean, their game plan has been perfect.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all. And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Lakers.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And words can hardly describe the way these guys have come out game after game after game and been dominant facing both conferences. When they hit the 72-win mark, we thought it couldn't continue. And when they rewrite the record books once more, we'll say, wow, we were glad we watched it all. What a team.
And they took control of this season series matchup from the get-go, making every play they needed to en route to winning all 4 of their games this year against the Kings.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for George.
Well, I like the ferocity on defense now. He was constantly putting himself in the path of steals and coming up with them, too.
Here's what the Lakers are going with right now. Kyle Kuzma's checked in for Anthony Davis. Murray comes in for James. And Bradley subbed in for Green.
Saw the opportunity to put this away and did not turn it down.
And, you know, this run shows what kind of attitude this team has. I mean, the win is there. Go get it.
Joseph against Bradley. Dedmon passes to Farrell. Over George. Farrell gets the bucket.
And you see the ability to rise and fire from mid-range, even against that length.
You know, guys, if they're inside, that shot probably gets blocked. But from mid-range, I mean, he's able to get it off over the bigger defender there.
They made the most of their opportunities, looking comfortable and locked in throughout the night.
Boy, they've given their fans plenty to cheer about, that's for sure. Effort, skill, coaching, you name it, they've done it.
Joseph against Bradley. Joseph, the pass to Dedmon. Again, Sacramento.
Yeah, Joseph adept at finding his open teammates, and that's exactly what you want from your point guard.
And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. It was a tale of was in total control, operating flawlessly. The other just searching for answers that they could never find.
Here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for